But then yesterday, he was in a casino. I'm not sure where he was. He was waiting in a line. And there was kids around, and there was pregnant women around, apparently. There was a lot of screaming fucking going on. But Usman and his manager, Ali, and then, I don't know, a bunch of dudes that looked like big, scary animals, they saw Covington, and a fight didn't break out, but there was a bit of argy-bargy, shall we say.
We have it right here.
Let's take a look. But notice again, Covington, he's all talk. He didn't do a thing. He backed up as far as he could go. If he leaned into that wall any harder,
wait, who's going after him?
And he pulls the phone out. Now he's got the phone going. Ooh.
There's a woman there. She's gonna get hit.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, this is disappointing.
He's acting like an idiot.
That was Ali, the manager.
Yeah.
He almost threw a bunch.
Jesus.
Usman's actually not doing anything. Usman's actually keeping it cool, if I'm honest.
It's his manager. Yeah, because Usman's in his face.
Yeah, and then the big fella there, the big black guy there, he looks like he wants to go for Covington.
Well, the reality is Usman has nothing to prove. Usman just fucking dominated Tyron Woodley. He's the champion. He's on cloud nine. He has actually, Usman played it really, really well there. And to be honest with you, even Covington, you know, I don't even look at him as being, I don't know what happened before this. Every video that you watch, not even to do with MMA, but you have to watch what happens preemptively. Do we know exactly how this video started? Stop playing it for a second because it's a little distracting.
Well, yeah. No. We can stop it there. No, there is no, there's no footage of how it started, but I would assume it went something like this. Covington was there in line in the casino doing whatever he was doing on a Sunday morning, and Usman and his team walked by, spotted them, and he just went from there. And you're right, Covington did do the right thing. I'm just trying to have a laugh at him going, oh, what a little bitch. What is the flip side? What is he meant to do? Is he supposed to start a fight, start brawling like a fucking low-level criminal in the middle of a casino on a Sunday afternoon? No, that isn't how I'd behave. That isn't how I'd act. That isn't what I'd do. So in that regard, he did play it absolutely right. But it's just fun. It's fun to call him a little bitch. I love it. You know what I mean? But he did do the right thing. The only person that came across badly there, and Usman again, Usman was right. He had his arms out. He was trying to stop his friends from starting the whole thing, and it was bad. I mean, there was women screaming, and people are screaming.
Well,
there's
I guess
a pregnant woman here, and
were
there's children. People are scared.
Well, yeah, people were upset, I guess, because Harrington said, and I quote, using women and children as a human shield. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. Can I see that? Can you pull up and keep the volume down? Because I just want to look at the video.
A guy use a woman as a human shield once.
Yeah. Did it work?
No.
She got punched in the head. You head kicked her.
Didn't work. Do you want to hear the story?
I do.
Real fast?
Yeah, I do.
So I'm in this bar in Clitheroe where I'm from called the Key Street, and I say to my buddies, I'm just going to go to the toilet. I go to walk into the toilet, and this guy's like, no, you can't go in there. I'm like, get out of the way. I need a piss. He's like, no, you can't go in there. I'm like, get out of the way. He's like, you're not going in. So I push him to one side. I go into the toilet, and my friend Benty is on the floor with two guys beating the shit out of him, like kicking him in the head and stuff. He's covered in blood. He's a real mess, So I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm like trying to drag them off, and then the guy that wouldn't let me in the bathroom, he'd followed in behind me. Boom, he punches me in the back of the head. So a bit of a brawl starts. Bouncers run in, break it up, throw everybody out. Right? So this is a long time, by the way. This is a long time ago. This is like 20 years ago. And then we get outside, and the two guys that were, beating my friend up, I go, hey, you prick. And he grabs this girl, just grabs a girl and gets her in a full Nelson. And he's standing there using this girl as a human shield. And I'm like, wow, you pussy. I said, you're acting like a big, hard man. And but look at you. Now you're hiding behind a woman. But at the corner of my eye, I could see his other friend getting closer and closer and closer. And he was going to jump me. Yeah. So I thought, I'll just let you get close enough. I'll let you get into firing range. And when he got close enough, whabam! Head kick, knockout, 50,000 bonus of the night. Ha!
You're talking about the woman that was in the full Nelson.
Yeah, exactly. She went down real hard. Like she stopped her yapping real fast. And then I got arrested, guys. So it didn't end well. Okay, yeah. So I'm not proud of it. It was a bad time. Alcohol was involved, but they were picking on my friend. They were beating my friend up. So there you go. And I'm very sorry. it looks like I'm condoning violence. It was a former life. It was a long time ago. What do you want me to do?
Also, I mean, come on. Some guys want to get into fights. Two men want to get into a fight. They want to go out back and, exchange fisticuffs. We're all adults here. I don't really have an issue with that. We've talked about that before as well. Like, there are certain jurisdictions where, what do they call that? What's the law? Where they call it a
fair game. I don't know.
Fair game, whatever it is. But it's where two guys agree that they want to fight. They can just go out and fight. I think
that is the law here in America. I think it is, because I was...
Not everywhere.
I think if somebody says you want to go outside and you agree, you both go outside, then as long as you don't use excessive force or unnecessarily violence, then I think that's okay. In my day, when I was younger in the 90s in Clitheroe, fights would happen and the cops would come up and just break it up and go, right, you go that way, that's enough. If I see you at this again, you're arrested. And then if you carried it on, there's a right, I'm telling you, last warning, otherwise you're nicked. And, you go your way, and that was that. Game over. These days, you fucking blink at someone the right way, you get arrested.
What is that called, Harrington? You were going to say? You don't know?
From what I can see in the Wikipedia, it's a two-man rule. So if two men agree to a fist fight, they can walk outside and just fight.
Yeah, but what about the fact if you're in a public place like that, like say a casino, there's got to be some kind of criminal penalty for that, because just because two guys say, yeah, we want to fight each other, well, that's all well and good. Go find yourself an underground car park at 4 a.m. You can't do it in the middle of the Cheesecake Factory on a Friday night, I would assume.
Yeah, there's mutual combat laws. It depends on Seattle, Washington is a place where you can fight somebody. There's certain jurisdictions where it's legal, where you can just decide. And I think what it is you can't just get into a Starbucks and start punching each other in the face. But if you guys go out into a field and say, we're going to punch each other until one of us says they don't want to punch each other anymore. And, which, by the way, in my opinion, is a better law to have. And I'll tell you why. Because it becomes like you can sort of get that release out of, getting into an exchange, getting into a fight, but you're not going to, I think you're less likely to take it further because you're not, like, just the I don't know, the idea of like the exchange being illegal right away. You guys will grab a bottle, try to hit him really quick and run out of there. If it's just like one dude says, fine, dude, let's go out and fight. Let's have a fucking duel. They'll probably, when I was a kid, that's how we would do it. Me and my friends would get into fights all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Like when I was 12, 13 years old, if we had a dispute, we'd go behind the shopping center or in the woods or whatever it is, and we'd literally just fight each other for 15 minutes until one of us got a bloody nose, and then we just go play video games again.
I like the way you said 15 minutes. I guarantee it was
4
like 15
minutes,
seconds.
tops.
15 minutes is a long time to be fighting. That's why the professional best fighters in the world fight 3 5-minute rounds. They even have a minute rest after a minute. But no, Lewis out there fucking 14 in a field doing 3-hour-long fights. Rivals the legendary Hicks and Gracie street fights. Back in the day. Yeah, 15 minutes. My ass.
No
15 seconds. But I agree, and I mean that's why you see it now in the UFC, or boxing or whatever. A lot of professional sports. Sometimes I see fans, when there's a lot of bad blood going into a fight, and then afterwards they're all good on the microphone. And some fans say, "Well, hold on a minute, where's all the bad blood gone? Was that all fake?" I said, "No, it's not fake. You mean it going in, but once you've been through a fight with somebody, there's a very unique connection that you experience, and then afterwards you generally do tend to have respect. I mean, look at like Lennox Lewis versus Mike Tyson back in the day. Tyson was biting his ankles at the press conference. He was saying he's going to rape him and all kinds of stuff. It was crazy, but then afterwards he had pretty nice things to say on the microphone, because when it's all said and done, it's over, it's done. So unless you're a little woman that wants to run off to the police.